Those of you are probably aware, but Taylor Swift and the Kanye West, Kim Kardashian West clan are now in the heat of battle. Taylor Swift took to Twitter earlier this week after Kim Kardashian posted a video of Kanye West and Taylor Swift having a phone conversation regarding certain lines in Kanye's Life of Pablo album, the song Famous, specifically the lines referring to Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Before we talk, there's a lot of details about this story. I want to just take a look at that video real quick.
You still got the Nashville number?
I still have the Nashville area code, but I haven't changed.
For all my Southside niggas that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Thing to have.
I know,
definitely.
it's like a compliment kind of.
Yeah. What I give a fuck about is just you as a person and as a friend. I want things that make you feel good. I don't want to do rap that makes people feel.
And I really appreciate you telling me about it. That's really nice.
Oh, yeah. I feel I just have a responsibility to you as a friend, you know. And, I mean.
Are Taylor Swift and Kanye West friends?
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say that. What's most interesting out of this story is seeing two huge celebrities who have like a history of beef with each other.
Since 2009, as Taylor Swift proclaimed in her Twitter rant.
Seeing them speak with each other on the phone, like in a candid moment like this.
Yeah.
Super fascinating.
It's fascinating specifically because Taylor does not seem hurt at all by these lines, which she later went back and changed her mind on, it appears to be. I'm gonna read her statement really quick because there's a point in that we need to talk about. So Taylor put out a note, screenshotted a note from her phone that read, "Where is the video of Kanye telling me he was going to call me that bitch in his song? It doesn't exist because it never happened. You don't get to control someone's emotional response to being called that bitch in front of the entire world. Of course I wanted to like the song. I wanted to believe Kanye when he told me that I would love the song. I wanted us to have a friendly relationship. He promised to play the song for me, but he never did. While I wanted to be supportive of Kanye on the phone call, you cannot approve a song you haven't heard. Being falsely painted as a liar when I was never given the full story or played any part of the song is character assassination. I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative, one that I have never asked to be a part of since 2009. Okay. So this is pretty scathing. It's like, I mean, Taylor is immediately assuming that she's the victim here. She's playing the victim card very quickly.
That's what Taylor Swift does.
And like really attaching to that bitch part of the sentiment. Whereas I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex is still the same level of misogynistic undertones, has still, if not worse, misogynistic undertones in it.
Yeah.
Rather than being called that bitch, it's just a terminology that rappers tend to use. Now, this is not an argument about whether that bitch should be banned, like that word should be banned or not. This is more so an argument about what the nature of the relationship between Taylor Swift and Kanye West is. So there's a conspiracy theory that revolves around this note itself. For those of you familiar with iPhones, when you have notes on your phone that are recent, it doesn't come up on the top left as a search bar. Can you bring that graphic back for a second? Okay. So as you can see in the top left, it says search, indicating that this may have been pre-written before this altercation occurred.
She must have a lot of notes.
Or she just writes crazy.
No, I mean, of course.
That is possible. She's a lyricist.
But like, if she had just written this note, like you're saying that if she wouldn't have to search for
it, if she felt
it would be at the top of the list.
If she felt like really upset and emotional about it at the moment, in the heat of the moment, she would have written the note and then possibly taken the quote back. So that's the speculation here. There's a lot of conspiracy theories revolving around this. I love this story.
What are the chances that there is like this just one tidbit of evidence right up here in the corner of this thing that Taylor Swift puts up that would lead to these allegations that like she had pre-written this whole message?
I don't know. I
That's
still
crazy.
don't
It makes
know
it
if
so
it's
much more
pre-written.
interesting.
It makes it an interesting story, which is why we're covering it with this angle. But I'm not going to go ahead and for sure say that Taylor Swift had pre-written this note and that they are gearing up for something much larger, like some sort of media, like explosive, like world erupting crazy album or something like that, or some sort of big plot.
We like to speculate and talk about. But like the biggest thing that I feel that we've all learned from this, given the facts, is that I mean there has been a lot of people who have been anti-Taylor Swift for a while, but
not me.
Not
I will
you?
tell you that. I have not been anti-Taylor Swift. I've been on Taylor Swift team for a very long time. But I always mention this when people say like, "Oh, why do you like Taylor Swift?" Because her image is like completely crafted. Like I was always aware of that.
It's crafted based on her being the victim, and I think this sheds some light
that is
like
important.
She is playing this game with the rest of these people. So
yeah,
she is complicit in what these people are doing.
Yeah, it does. It does seem like she was aware of how misogynistic
months
this was.
ago, when let me just read this quote from her PR team.
Okay.
Months ago, this came out after the whole idea of this was happening. They said, quote, Kanye did not call for approval, but to ask Taylor to release his single Famous on her Twitter account. She declined and cautioned him about releasing a song with such a strong misogynistic message.
It doesn't seem like the misogynistic message escaped Taylor in that. But I'm just saying, like in that phone call, it's pretty obvious to me that Taylor was aware of that misogynistic message. Not only was she aware of it, she thought of it as a compliment.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, like me and Taylor might still have sex. Oh, that sounds like a compliment to me.
Yes.
That sounds pretty good to me." Now, some people are still going to say that, oh, well, sexual intercourse, it could be, that Kanye's saying that Taylor's attractive and whatever. And to them, I say, don't be confused by all of the publicist team that...
Do you think, how is this going to affect Taylor Swift or Kanye West?
I think Taylor Swift, it's not going to affect Kanye West. Kanye West does crazy stuff all the time. He's already... kind of isolated himself as this artistic genius, and there's a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that he might be a little out there. I mean, obviously you see all of his tweets like Bill Cosby innocent, like that was out of left field, and then people speculate like, what is he trying to say there? Which I do appreciate. Like I love that. Like Kanye is just such a crazy creative person. I do genuinely believe this, by the way. I don't care what everyone else says.
Here's what I like. Kanye puts his cards on the table, whereas Taylor does not. And then we finally got a chance to see what she had in her hand.
Like, but
and
for it was a brief glimpse of the real
Yeah.
Taylor. It wasn't even like we haven't fully seen the real Taylor yet. And I think there's a lot more behind the scenes. Yeah. I've heard this from other people that are close to Taylor Swift that she is like,
calculating.
She's definitely calculated. But she also likes to party.
All these celebrities, all these powerful artists, they are calculating. They have to be.
Yeah, of course.
They're businesses in themselves.
But it's not, their businesses,
you have a whole
their
team
brands.
that you have to command, and you have a PR person that you have to communicate with and develop strategies for like how you're going to put your brand out.
Yeah, it's not one person. It's never one person unless it's Donald Trump.
Yeah, of course.
Like he's the only person who's like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, and everyone lets him do
even
it.
he has a team too.
Yeah, of course. So now there's a legal element to this whole story as well. Taylor's team of lawyers have actually threatened Kanye with criminal prosecution because in the state of California, according to the Wiretap Act, you need to have two-party consent, meaning like both Kanye and Taylor need to know that this conversation was being recorded. Now, they are claiming that they're going to file a lawsuit, and they actually can, depending on where Kanye was at this point, because if Kanye was in New York when this phone call was happening,
it's okay.
No, it's still not okay, but he has more legal grounds to defend himself because in New York you don't have a two-party wiretap law. You have one party, meaning one part of the conversation can know and hold themselves accountable. Unfortunately, if Taylor was in California and Kanye was in New York, if this lawsuit still happened, because Taylor is the victim, California would still take this up all the way to the Supreme Court. In the past, they have. This case could possibly set legal precedents. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
The fact that Kanye may have broken the law. We know that he is already in debt because of his album. I'm assuming he's made a bunch of that money back. That's how really rich people usually make money. But I don't know what's gonna happen.
What a strange year, man.
It is such a weird, crazy story. But I mean, if I was on Taylor's team, I'd be like, drop this immediately, squash this beef, because there's a lot of negative, like you kind of see it. There's a lot of negative sentiment around Taylor Swift right now with the Calvin Harris stuff, with now this coming out, and I feel like
it all points to this picture that people have painted Taylor as being like this calculating person who doesn't really believe what she's saying unless it really directly benefits her and applies to her.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like if she did care that much, I guess, why wouldn't you just not say anything at all? Like when Kanye drops this song about this, just don't say anything. That's what someone who I feel like.
Why? So why? So even her speech at the what was it, the Grammys, I think, when she was accepting her nomination, like I think what Taylor was most upset about
But look, I
wasn't
look
that
back to
bitch
like
part.
Eminem, like back in the day when he did like the real Slim Shady. He would call out all these celebrities in his songs and say disgusting, fucked up things about them. And usually they wouldn't even respond. And like you go on with your life and it didn't turn into this big thing. But Taylor likes
there's
to
Twitter
make them into a big thing.
I know,
though.
but there's Twitter now. It's a different world. Like we constantly
Yeah,
have
I mean that's
access
definitely
to
part of it.
communicating
But
with one another.
what I'm trying to say is that Taylor, she likes to use these to perpetuate her own image
she
and
puts
brand
out.
as a victim.
She definitely, you're 100%.
To be like, I'm
correct.
this innocent girl.
Yeah.
And like I'm being attacked. Why won't he leave me alone?
Yeah.
But Taylor, it's because
It's a part of her
doing,
brand.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a part of her brand, and I think that a lot of people will still question you and say that you're victim blaming in this instance. I don't know. I disagree. I think everyone has a right to their own
Let's
opinion.
go
I
back
think
to
you're
the
right.
beginning though. Who instigated this whole thing?
I mean, it was Taylor's team.
Yeah.
It was. And I think that it wasn't necessarily that bitch line. It wasn't necessarily, I think me and Taylor might still have sex line. I genuinely feel like it was more so about the line that Kanye said, he made her famous.
Yeah.
I think that was what really got to Taylor because she even mentioned that she had sold 7 million albums even before the whole Kanye-Taylor controversy in 2009. And I think maybe some people knew about me after that because of that. But that doesn't negate the 7 million albums I sold before that.
Yeah.
And there is truth in that statement, but I also do believe because she's mentioned this in the past, I feel like that is the focal point that really upset her. That's what set her off, I feel like.
So
and it's a heated statement.
Here's what
to
I think
make.
what happened. I think after that conversation took place that we just saw on Kim's Snapchat, she decided along some point, probably with her team or whatever, that it will help her out more to go against Kanye than it would be to just be like, yeah, I'll tell
Or they're
everyone
gearing
that.
up for something.
Yeah, or they're gearing up for something. Anyway.
Which could be very interesting, and I'm really excited to find out. All right, guys, so what do you guys think? Are you on Team Taylor or are you on Team Kim Kanye West? Let us know in the comments on Kanye West. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm Hasan Piker, this is Amir Nikoui, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.